What the hell? 2100. Is this right? Is this what the sub gap is now? Are you telling me that video I did about PewDiePie and how important he is, they got all of 3,000 views? Are you telling me that did nothing to beat T-Series? This is so sad. Alexa, no, forget you, Alexa. We've got work to do. I gotta make another video. And if you haven't already, pause this video. Well, no. Keep this video playing, but go subscribe to PewDiePie right now. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Honestly, by the time this video gets released, I don't know if T-Series will win by then. I mean, Elon Musk has already stepped in to do meme review for PewDiePie. What more can we do? No, never give up. Subscribe. It isn't over. And this is more than just a meme or some stupid internet thing. I explained why PewDiePie is so important in my previous video, the 3,000 views one, which if you haven't seen, I will link to right here. Go watch that. But in an internet that is increasingly closing off, PewDiePie is the one guy who's at the gates just holding them apart. He is important and he needs to be supported. And guess what? In that previous video, there was a comment about PewDiePie that taught me something I never thought of before, and it is a fantastic lesson we could all learn from this T-Series debacle. And it relates to trading and investing too, and just life in general. It's a serious topic, and it's all about the fear of failure. So here's Andy Braun, a longtime Fallible community member. He made just a fantastic comment. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm very happy for PewDiePie for not bowing down to the gatekeeper's pressure. If this keeps up, we will no longer have freedom of speech. Sadly, today people hear what they want to hear in the name of their own self-interest. Few people have the courage to listen and embrace the other side for their right to have an opinion. If we come together, we would realize that most Americans want the same thing, but we just disagree on how to do it. One day I met an American soldier who fought for our country for 20 years to help the American people, and he told me he doesn't even recognize this country anymore. The idea of not wanting to offend someone else and teaching our kids in school that everyone is a winner is hurting this country. Very few young people want to start businesses because they don't want to lose, and winning is everything we're teaching them. So by teaching them that they're already a winner, there's fewer and fewer companies being created in America. Foreigners who come to this country see the opportunity and they want to create something because they don't have that fear of losing. Another problem that comes with the idea of everyone being a winner is that it's robbing our kids with the opportunity to communicate and argue with each other in a healthy manner. This is stealing their voice and stopping them from interaction. This is just one small aspect of the problem. And then Andy left to put on his fuzzy animal slippers and watch PewDiePie that beautiful Saturday morning. I love it. So think about that for a second. We are teaching everyone that they're winners. Think about how all of us in America grow up with participation trophies everywhere. That's not a participation trophy. I won that. I cheated, but I won. But when you keep telling people that they're winners, they become extremely scared to lose. And I used to see this all the time back in school, especially with Indians like me, because you know our parents were just beating us with books, making us study, have to be the smartest. And yeah, it worked out in high school, right? Because it's a smaller pool, you could get to the top. But as soon as these kids went to college, you know, some of them would go on to be the smartest at college too, but a lot of them, you know, you found people who were smarter. You weren't setting the curve on every test. Maybe you were struggling a little bit. And when that happened, these kids, some of them just had breakdowns. They didn't know what to do because they couldn't handle the idea of losing. There's no way to get past that. They didn't have that coping skill, or they didn't have that resourcefulness. Now that doesn't just end in school, that continues on, because a lot of these people get into industries where, again, it's kind of safe. You go into a certain system, you do what you're told, and you get to this level, then you get to the next level, and it's very, you know, mapped out. So by going a traditional route in a traditional company, you lower the risk of losing. Think about a non-traditional path like starting a business. There's no guidebook for that. And when you start a business, do you know what happens? You lose every single day. You lose multiple times a day. It's horrible. It sucks. But you quickly learn that you need a mentality to get past those losses, because with every loss you learn something. Ray Dalio, right there, he calls losses and losing and failure, he calls them gems, because from each one of those losses or gems, you get a new lesson, and you take that lesson and you can apply it to what you're doing, and you're going to do better. The only way to get to a certain level of achievement is by losing your way there, because from each failure is the lesson that you need. But this constant, oh, I have to be a winner, that mentality that we're putting into people, it's not allowing them to fail. Failure is good when you learn from it. And think about this. This is the same concept in the markets. In the markets, right? When you're trading a system or your strategy, you're not going to win all the time. That's impossible. Your curve, if you got a good strategy, it should go like this. There are going to be lumps along the way. Losing is a natural part of being in the market. And I bring up this example all the time, but there are extremely successful investors with win rates of only 30%. That means they're losing 70% of the time that they put their money into the market. And how do they do that? Well, they can do that because they're comfortable with failure. And again, it's failure because it's not really failure like you lost. It's more like failure. Okay, learn from this, move on. And in the markets, oftentimes if a trade goes bad, it's just part of the process. Going into markets or business or life expecting no losses and no failures, that's like taking your boat out into the ocean and only expecting waves to push you up and for you to never go down. And if you've ever been on a boat or even seen water, yeah, you know it sways like this, and you know that's how the boat sways, and that's how life, business, markets, that's how it all is, wins and losses, but you eventually get to where you want to go. If you have that fear of failure, you're not gonna make it. Look at PewDiePie, look how many oopsies he makes, but does he give up? No. I mean, when he lost that Maker Studio deal, how big of a hit do you think that was? That was horrible. That sucked for his business and his life and just his, psychology. He got unrightfully screwed, but did he give up there? No, he took the L and he moved on. And now look at him, he's battling a corporation for the #1 spot on YouTube, the most subscribed. I think by the numbers, he has the biggest following on the internet. I can't think of anyone who has a larger fan base. Well, maybe BTS. Okay, well, let's say he has one of the largest followings, and it's a tight community. And he did this even after losing brand deals and all this nonsense that they did to him. He's still here, doing great. Now, another thing that I've never thought of that Andy brought up here is a really good point, is that this idea that everyone's a winner, it robs people with the ability to communicate and argue with each other in a healthy manner. No one wants to have this courage to listen and embrace the other side anymore. Because the way we're all brought up now, it's like if you're in a conversation and you change your mind at the end of the conversation, that's bad. You lost. And what, we can't be losers, right? So you know what's the best way to always win? It's to just not play. And we see this in politics now all the time. Everyone goes into their separate corner, into their echo chambers, and they just talk in their own groups and just all agree with each other. And whenever there's a potential for the two groups conversing with each other, well, that just breaks down pretty quickly because they don't even want to see the other side. They just want to be right on their side. It is the opposite of being fallible. It's infallible. No one's looking to be proven wrong. Where if you think about a good investor like a Druckenmiller or a Dalio, they're always looking for stuff to prove them wrong. And they are happy when someone can prove them wrong because once that happens, they could just change their position and be right and then make money. The smartest people I've met are just so happy when you can have a conversation with them and show them something new that they didn't think of before, or you teach them something that they previously did not have the correct opinion on. They're so happy. They're fallible. They let new information change their previously held thoughts. It's the weakly held part of the strong opinions weakly held saying. And the problem, as Andy is saying, is that no one wants to do that anymore. All these people would be terrible in the markets. And I always attributed it to ego, right? But, and I guess this still relates, even more than ego, it's just a strong fear of failure that's been put inside of all of us since we were growing up. And yeah, failure does damage the ego, which is why we're scared of it, but I didn't think about it from that point of view. Especially with like seemingly harmless stuff like participation trophies that we had as kids. What's wrong with parents telling their kids they're great all the time? Self-esteem is good, but this is the other side of what happens. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this fear of losing and how it affects everything from business to life to trading to PewDiePie? And I know this isn't directly related to PewDiePie, but it is a comment that came from the last video I did on his story. So Pewds gets the credit once again, bringing up this great discussion, teaching me something. I'm very happy. It's a good day, but also it's a bad day if T-Series has won. Hey, but look, just during this video, just me recording this video, the sub gap has doubled. Clearly what we're doing is working. So comment down below with what you think of this whole thing, smash like, and more importantly, subscribe to PewDiePie. Then only after you subscribe to PewDiePie, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell so you get a notification every time a new video is released. We're doing videos on business and markets every single day. Come hang out with us. Come talk to us. Come get in these comments. I mean, I love going over these comments. Look at this one. Andy, great job. But yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie and I'll see you in the next video. Stay fallible out there. Bye.